Good morning. Here I am somewhere in the Jersey Shore at a friend of ours' house. We're visiting them for a few days, and I figured this would be a good time to update you on the last video that I uploaded. So the last time I actually had a decent length video, I was telling the story of how we were in California and this was last year. And as we're leaving California, we decide to check the oil in the radiator. Well, if you go back to the other videos, you remember that I said that when we were in Washington State, we took Max to have the engine checked and everything taken care of so that when we were on our trip, we didn't have to worry about anything. So when the radiator was put back into place, for some reason, the cap couldn't fit properly because I guess it was a different radiator. I don't know. So the bracket that holds the radiator in place didn't let the top come off properly. So Lee tries to take off the cap and it wasn't coming out. So he pries it out with a screwdriver and he opens the top and he looks in and there's water and the radiator is great and there are no problems. And as he's trying to screw it back on, it won't screw on properly. So he just kind of rests it on the radiator. So, excuse me, we say goodbye to all our friends and we're driving along and we're on the highway and I'm smelling coolant. And I tell Lee, I go, smells like coolant. And he keeps driving. He goes, oh, okay. Driving, and I say again, it smells like coolant. And in my head, it smells like coolant means you need to stop and check and see what's going on. In his head, it means it smells like coolant. So, driving along, and suddenly Max's engine goes, steam starts coming out of the engine. And Lee has just enough time to make a right turn into an entrance of some driveway, and it turns out to be the entrance to a park, a national park, and I can't remember what the name of it is, and it just stops kind of in the middle of the road. And there were some rangers there, and they're like, oh, you guys are okay? And we're like, yeah, we're okay. And so Lee waits for the steam to go down a little bit, and he opens the hood, and it turns out that the engine is blown. Oops. So we call the company that we have. It's either like Good Sam or AAA or something. I don't remember. And tell them our situation. So they have to try to find a tow truck that can fit an RV on it. So we're waiting and waiting. It's hot. We have Coco still, and we have the parrot, and we're just sitting there, and we're waiting. And these motorcyclists try to come through the driveway because we're like blocking the driveway. And one of them had a truck or something, I think it is. Excuse me. And they're pretty pissed off because they can't get through. So Lee is like, Hell's Angels. And I go outside and I go, sorry, dude, we broke down. We can't move. We're waiting for a tow truck. Figure it out. And the guy was like, yeah, well, you're in the middle of my way. And I'm like, yeah, well, what the hell do you want me to do? So we wait. We decide we're going to take a walk along the trail of this park. So we take a walk along the trail, and Max is still in the middle of the way, and we had unhooked Mr. Toad and had him parked on another side. And we go on the trail, and we walk around. We get to the beach. We go on another part of it. We're waiting, and there is no company that, first of all, can carry Max, and second of all, that knows where to take Max in order for Max to get fixed. So it's like all day long. It's like 9 o'clock at night. Finally get someone to be able to put Max in their tow truck, and we carry it to this place, which I'm allowed to say. It's called Extra Care Auto Repair in San Bruno, California. And the guy tells us where to park, and he comes on in his scooter and he tells us, okay, well, you have to be here tomorrow and I can take a look at it tomorrow. And I think we spent the night in Max that night. I really can't remember. And of course, Lee's freaking pissed off, and he's texting his family that he's all done, that he's gonna jump off the ledge now because of this that's going on. And the next day, the owner, Mike, of the auto repair place tells us, what he can do for us and how long it's going to take and how much money it's going to be. And, Lee is like, fuck this shit. And he's going to burn Max. And so I finally talk him off the ledge. And Mike from the auto repair shop is really honest with us. And he says, I've never done an engine, but I'm more than happy to try it out and see how it works. And it was really super cool because he explained to us the whole process and everything that was going on, and we were able to park Max on the grounds of his shop, and we were able to stay there and use his electricity. And super, super kind, super sweet, amazing human being, really sweet to Coco, and telling us the story and everything. And in the meantime, we had reservations for Mardi Gras in New Orleans. And of course we missed it. Like, I had lived in New Orleans many years ago, and Lee had visited New Orleans, but we'd never gone together. So we were really excited and looking forward to it. So needless to say, we were not making it to New Orleans in time for Mardi Gras. So we spent about 3 weeks in San Bruno, and the engine was repaired by Mike at Extra Care Auto Repair. We stayed a couple more days after the engine was repaired. And then we left California and, we left San Bruno, and then we drove down to past LA and all this other stuff. So now we're driving Max with a brand new engine. So we're driving along. We decided we were going to go to Silver City, which is where we started the story. We were going to go there for 2 days. COVID hits, and thank goodness our engine blew, because had it not blown, we would have gotten to New Orleans and been in the whole blow up of COVID, and we would have been really sick, or possibly have died because of lung issues. So that's the story of how Max got a new engine. So now when I say smells like coolant, it's a warning sign that we have to stop what we're doing, figure out what's going on. So that's the story.